Welcome to the You Don't Know What You Don't Know podcast by Innovative Business Advisors. Successful business owners who have started, grown, and led businesses share their journey and direction for the benefit of those traveling the same path.
Today, we're talking with Bob Kluge, business owner and second-generation owner of Enterprise Accounting. Enterprise Accounting is a unique accounting firm with a mission of providing business solutions for entrepreneurs. It is truly a business of business owners helping business owners. A very unique perspective. And Bob is really more than just an accounting expert. He and his team really function as key advisors and chief financial officers for their clients. While their services include traditional bookkeeping, tax prep, and payroll services, they really do function as a member of the client's team with the responsibility to look out for the business financial future. Bob is a CPA. He's also the chief financial officer of the company, the lead advisor, and the pinball champion of his firm. Enterprise Financial has a wide range of resources available for their clients and prospective clients. And I am honored to welcome Bob Kluge. Bob, I'm delighted to have you. So you and your lovely wife, Leslie, have an accounting business. Tell us a little bit about that business and what was the moment you decided to get into that business?
Well, that's a couple different parts. Leslie and I are a husband-wife team. We share our lives 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's a fun thing to navigate. But I got into the accounting business actually as a kid. My father had a CPA practice and it was located in our basement. And I was unaware of child labor laws. And as a kid, I got to sort bank statements back when they used to send you back your checks every month. And Dad would go out and pick up bank statements from the clients and bring them home. And then I'd sit down there on the floor and sort them by check number. And I didn't realize I wasn't getting paid. That was just a chore that I had to do. Like some kids cut grass, I got to sort bank statements. And I got to learn a little bit about the art and science of an accounting practice by listening to Mom and Dad on a daily basis. There were conversations at the kitchen table. There were just things that came up, and I got to learn a lot. As a typical kid, I was never going to do that the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. But in high school, I went and took an accounting class at Lindbergh High just to get my parents off my back. And much to my regret, I really, really liked it. So I took the second one, the next year and liked it even more. So I started looking for colleges. I spent a year going to UMSL on a in-town basis. And then I went up to Northeast Missouri State, which is now Truman State. Got my accounting degree.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I chose Truman, or Northeast Missouri, is they have, and still do this day, have the highest pass rate on the CPA exam of any university in Missouri, including some of the ones that are far more expensive than they are. So I made that decision to do that and get an accounting degree. And then my good German father, 2 weeks before I was supposed to graduate, came to me and said, "Son, would you like to work with me?" And this was Thanksgiving weekend. I was graduating in December. And I said, "But Dad, I got these job offers." Back in 1978, job offers were a real premium.
Yes.
And he said, "But son, this all one day could be yours." And I thought that was a blessing. And so I took him up on the offer. I didn't realize it was a curse as well. So December 1978, I graduated. January 1st, 1979, I started working with him. And here we are 43 years later.
Wow. Wow. I didn't realize. So you're second generation in the business. I didn't know that about you.
Actually, third generation accountant. My grandfather was also an accountant for a big corporation here in town.
Okay. But your firm was originally your dad's firm? Did you guys have continued the same continuous firm?
Right. It's been continuously the same firm with some additions by merger and acquisition and some, pit stops with other people along the way. And then we get to the second part of, how did we get into business? 15 years ago, Leslie and I made the intentional decision to transition our business significantly. We had grown, and at one point in time, was a group of about 20 something people and doing quite a number of returns, serving quite a number of clients. I had a partner at the time, and it was very successful. But I had gotten out of doing what I love most, which is working with entrepreneurial business owners. So we made a very conscious decision, and we divested of a large portion of our 1040 business so that we could focus back on the entrepreneurial work, and renamed and rebranded the business as Enterprise Accounting at that point in time. Interesting point, it wasn't always going to be Enterprise Accounting. We had started off as the Entrepreneur's Accountant.
Okay.
That really told everybody what we were.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately, we moved into premises on Sovereign Court. And after 3 months of spelling entrepreneur and sovereign 50 times a day, we decided that we're going to change the name because we couldn't afford to move. So Enterprise Accounting came because then we didn't have to redo our logo or any of that stuff. So here we are, Enterprise Accounting. We're still at Enterprise 15 years ago. And it's been a really good move not having a brand that's tied to us as individuals. We've worked really hard to establish Enterprise Accounting as a brand. And now as we get ready to transition to the next generation, that forethought is really paying off.
Excellent. Excellent. So when you say transition to the next generation, you have kids that are stepping in?
We have 5 kids between us. We're a blended family.
Yeah.
One of them works in the business.
Okay.
And then we have a young man that's been working with us for 7 years. 2 of them are our first part of our generation transitional team. And then there'll probably be at least one other that joins them as they move to the next generation.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Well, I've only known you guys as Enterprise, so I know the great work you do. And obviously you've told us a little bit about, your mission. Tell us a little bit more. What really makes you guys different and unique in the accounting world?
We approach business from a vastly different than many other accounting firms. We approach accounting as a tool to help business owners and help individuals reach their goals. Our entire focus is helping our clients achieve their goals in a long-term basis. We're very long-term focused. We're blessed to be working with the 4th generation of some of my dad's original clients.
That's quite an accomplishment.
I have clients that I have known literally all my life since I was a kid that are still our clients. So we start off with the compliance work, the basic accounting work, all being requirements to get good information and succeed. But then we layer it with advisory work and a long-term goal work so that they can have a successful result. Talk about a client that we took and worked alongside with them for 20 plus years, help them acquire a business, manufacturing business, grow it, quadruple it in size, tenfold in profits, and they're now retired and sitting on the top of a mountain out in Dillon, Colorado. So great success story there. So we focus on the entrepreneurs and specifically multipreneurs, people that own and operate more than one business, or they're serial entrepreneurs and that they buy and sell businesses on a regular frequency.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. You guys do great work. You're in a very rarefied air. Most you are one of the few accountants out there that is, what I would say, to use the kind of common vernacular, you're more than the average bean counter. You guys really are advisors as well, and you sit your clients down and make sure that they really understand what's going on in their business and help them get where they want to go in their business. And you're truly like a business partner with a lot of them in that regard.
It is. We get heavily involved with them in their operations, in their strategy. And Leslie has a really good saying. Our minimum requirement is that you're going to meet with us for at least an hour, at least twice a year. If you don't want to meet with us for an hour, at least twice a year, then we care more about your business than you do. And you need to find an accountant that suits you better. So it's just kind of an indication of the focus on what we do.
Yeah, and it's we both know too. I mean, most business owners, They are technical experts at whatever their business is. They know the inside and out of their business and all the facets of it. But when it comes to the numbers of their business and the basic blocking and tackling of the cash flow of their business and so forth, the vast majority of them are not well schooled in that regard. And you guys really provide great work.
Many business owners get stuck in the weeds.
Yep.
And dealing with that crisis or the detail of the day, and often don't take that step back to look at the bigger picture and how this is going to get them towards their goals. So that's a key. And yeah, most of them don't have the technical training, and they're far more valuable to their business doing something else, whether it's moving their team forward, whether it's focusing on sales, on new product development, all those things that are their unique skills. Most business owners are bad bookkeepers.
Yeah. And really don't know how to direct bookkeepers to do it right either.
No, or supervise them either. No.
Yeah. So true. So you've had a long history of service to your clients, right? What are some of the things you're most proud of within your business?
I think it's just the variety of things we've been able to do, from helping some new business owners that were just getting into business figure out how to succeed and grow their business, from people that have come out of corporate America and leverage every dime they have to buy a business, and helping them, succeed and survive in some cases, to reach their goals. Most recently, over the last few years, it's been helping people that have been faced unprecedented, challenges, simply navigate the waters and know what their options are, where they should be focusing their time, what they should be doing to survive, so that their business value, in some cases, they've been building this business for 10, 15, 20 years, doesn't dissipate simply because the world has this hiccup going on and there's challenges out there. So, we've helped a lot of businesses over this last 2+ years, survive the pandemic, and in some cases thrive, in some cases make pivots or transitions to doing things differently that are making them far more successful than they were 2 years ago.
Yeah, let's touch on that a little bit more, because I know, Bob, you guys have done a lot of work in that regard. And there's a couple of areas that I know you guys are specializing in that area. There's, we've been through an unprecedented time, and some businesses have thrived. Some businesses have not made it through, and a lot of businesses have struggled. Tell us some of the things that you've learned, and some of the things that you've helped your clients learn through this period. And then, if you would please highlight some of the specific areas that you guys have specialized on as a result of that, because I think a lot of those are not well known, and I think that those could be big eye openers for our audience.
So, I want to be proud to say that we've had less than 2% of our business clients that have had to go out of business as a result of the pandemic.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a very low percentage compared to the market as a whole. Overall, this has forced many business owners to go back to some of the basics: collecting their receivables, pricing their product right, making sure who they're serving is appropriate, and having all the right information to do that. So it's helping them in many cases dissect information that they didn't spend time on before. So my product really costs this much to deliver, or it costs this much for me to do. And so therefore I need to charge this much, or I need to focus on these clients that maybe are a little bit more profitable, or that I can serve with, the restrictions that are enforced today. Restaurant owners were a key, portion of that. And then navigating all the various government programs. You can rattle off a whole bunch of alphabet soup, the PPP loans that everybody is fairly familiar with, but then you get to the RRF, which is the Restaurant Revitalization Funding, or SVOG, the Stages Grant for entertainment venues. But I have one personal favorite that really has been our mission over the last year, and that's the employee retention credits. It's an additional payroll tax credit that is refundable 100%. So translate that as cash coming back to you, that a business owner can get on top of a PPP loan. Originally, when it was enacted, that wasn't true, but in December of 2020, they revised the rules and kind of snuck through this change that allows you to do both. We're seeing tremendous success in helping our business owners navigate that, do all the calculations to succeed, help file the forms with the government, and then get cash back that are helping their business survive, or in some cases even expand. We're proud to say that so far we've helped clients get over $13.5 million in this. And this is an area that not many other accounting firms are specializing in or even understand the complexes that they're facing with it. So this has been a really big thing for us over the last year.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So did I hear you right? The government will actually write you a check as an employer?
The government will write you a check, and in some cases up to 70% of what you paid your employee for a period of time.
And is that a loan, or is that
It's 100% cash. There's no forgiveness application to do. All you have to do is qualify to begin with, submit the forms, and then be patient while the IRS actually processes it.
on average, how long is it taking them to process the applications?
The sad part is with the backlog of documents and the fact that the service centers were taken down due to the pandemic.
Yeah, they experienced it too, didn't they?
7 months to process these claims on average.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. How long?
6 to 7 months to process claims on the average. We're seeing claims come in and checks arrive that we filed the claims last June and July. We've seen those come in the last couple of weeks.
So clarify for us, what exactly are we talking about here? This is a tax credit. What is it on and how is it calculated so that I'm not sure that the average business owner really understands what this is and where it comes from.
So it is a refundable payroll tax credit, which is just the tool that Uncle Sam chose to use to generate the tax refunds to the individuals. So you take what you're able to pay your employees, and of the first $10,000, there is either a 50% or 70% credit available as long as you haven't used those wages for another government program. For 2020, that means you can get up to $5,000 per employee. And for 2021, you can get up to $7,000 per employee per quarter. So you get up to $26,000 per employee for many businesses. And we're seeing many businesses qualify for that full amount for every employee, even if they've already gotten a PPP loan or some other funding. So it's very significant. Figuring out a small business with 10 employees can get $250,000 simply by going through the process and submitting the forms.
And here we are, we're sitting here in early 2022. You can file back for that credit for 2021 and 2020?
I can still file for 2020 and 2021 up through 3 years after the quarter ends.
Wow. So the applicant has 3 years in order to apply for the credit.
Yes, but I will say with the government, they tend to change programs sometimes unexpectedly. The employee retention credit was originally good through the fourth quarter of 2021, but in the most recent change in the law, they took that away. Don't want to sound like a fire alarm, but first of all, $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And second of all, the government does reserve the right to change their mind. And I would rather get a claim in for a client now and know that the clock's ticking and their check's going to be coming before something else happens in the world and they need that money even more than ever.
Wow. So I'm sure there's some qualification criteria, and I know you're well versed in this, so you can walk people through that and probably, make a pretty sound judgment about whether or not they would qualify before they go through the process of creating an application.
Oh, absolutely. We'll do a free assessment for anyone that, wishes to, investigate this further. If it turns out that you're not eligible for credit, that's okay. I'd rather you know that you are or are not than pass up the chance for an opportunity to get these refunds. We're seeing business owners that didn't think they qualified, or even worse, have been told they don't qualify by somebody else, get significant sums of money. We just did one for a local restaurant. They were told that they weren't eligible at all, and we're getting them over $350,000.
Wow. And that's not a loan. That's $350,000 that they can use however they want.
Refund. Now, I will say that the bad news about it, it is taxable income.
Okay. Well, I'd rather pay tax on free money than tax on money that you have to go out and earn in that regard, right? I mean, you're using their money to pay the tax.
Well, you've paid the employees, so the whole
Right.
program is designed to help business owners keep their employee base, keep the capabilities to serve the customers in place. So when this thing turns around, they still have that capability. And we're seeing the results of that. We're seeing that this has helped business owners stay in business, help them do well, and be prepared to succeed going forward.
So from a taxable standpoint, that becomes other income for their businesses then, and it would wash through their P&L statement and it would create taxable profits at some level.
It creates taxable profits, and but more importantly, it creates cash.
Right. The
And
lifeblood of every business, right?
the lifeblood of every business, for sure.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Well, my hat's off to you guys. There's a lot of misinformation about this, and I think even worse than that, I think very, very few people know about it as business owners. So
We're finding a remarkable number of business owners that we're getting introduced to even know about it or have accurate information on it.
very cool, very cool. Well, I'm glad you guys are dedicated to that. That's amazing. So a company with 10 employees, if they qualified, could receive approximately $250,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
That's without any other cost to it.
Yeah. Wow. Phenomenal, Bob. Phenomenal work. Well, I'm sure, that gives you a lot of pride. I mean, you're doing something very few are doing in that regard. I don't know of many others that are highlighting that expertise in the marketplace right now.
No, it's been a kind of a personal mission. We worked and we do our continuing education, and we found this, and we did the first part of it was the application to our client base. And as we started going through our client base, we realized how much some of these people were getting. And so we started the conversation with our referral partners, our bankers, our lawyers, our attorneys, our insurance people. And they were like, oh, wow, this is good. Let me talk to some people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were introduced to people that weren't our clients. And they're like, yes, let's do this. And the circle just keeps growing wider. And the more people we talk to, the more we find out that people just don't understand it, don't know about it, have that misinformation. So it's kind of gotten to be holy grail of sorts to go out and spread the word and help people get their refunds that they're designed for. So
awesome. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, you got to be pretty proud of that. I'm sure that's got to do well. As you think about your business, you've been running a business now for many, many years, as you described, right? Over 4 decades. What are some of the biggest business challenges you've faced over the years? I mean, clearly the pandemic is maybe the most recent, but talk to us a little bit about, early in your business ownership, what might you have experienced when you were a young entrepreneur?
I think the issues in our case have remained very consistent over the decades. They come in twofold. One is staffing, finding good people that want to work and serve our clients. So it's just keeping those people engaged, keeping them in the fold, keeping them focused on serving our clients well. So staffing's not a new issue. but finding the right people that want to work in the right culture is just always a challenge. And we're always looking for people that have that, servant mindset and want to be out there serving our clients. And the second one is tech. We were a small accounting firm when I started with my dad. Everything back on the green ledger sheets and the one right systems and all the things that, if you're of a certain age, you probably have some idea of what I'm talking about. 3 years into that, we bought our first computer. It was a Radio Shack Model 2 with 8-inch floppy drives, 2 of them. We were state of the art for a firm our size. Well, then they came out with hard drives and a network and everything else. So tech continues to be a driving force. We're very advanced on our tech and our digital presence and how we interact with our clients and able to serve them in that manner. And that allows us to be very cost effective in our services to them. But that's always a challenge, is making sure that we find the best tech that's most cost efficient and most user friendly for our clients to work with. So the 2 issues, same throughout the 4 decades, staffing and tech. And they continue to evolve with the details of it, but it's always comes back to, if my staffing is doing well and we're on the right side of the tech, business is really good.
Yeah, it seems like, we were talking before we went on the air here, that the tech has changed a lot over the years, and I think going to continue to change into the future.
In the book Future Shock, there's this premise that tech is always going to evolve at ever-changing, increasing rate. Mm-hmm. And I can say after 40 years, I'll endorse that theory 100%. And we can all look at it in whatever slice of time that we've had the ability to interact with tech. It just keeps changing every year, and things that we didn't even dream of years ago, we not only take for granted, but we rely upon these days. Can everybody think about, the old Warenberg maps that we always used to use to navigate around the city? Yeah. Now you just punch in an address in your GPS and you don't think twice about it, and you get annoyed when it doesn't get you to the right place in the fastest amount of time. So tech's a wonderful tool when it works.
Yeah, and now we all have these gadgets in our pockets, right? So we got these GPSs with us all the time. We got these little phones that do, GPS. They do take pictures. They do our email. They allow us to talk to people. It's incredible, the technology that's here today.
Little things like Google Lens, where you can take a picture of something and you hit a button and it comes back with 3 or 5 things that it probably is.
Yeah.
And more times than not, it's really very accurate. And it's like, oh, okay, that's what that is. And we use it a lot for plants. My wife and I are both gardeners, and so we use Google Lens. So we're out someplace and we see a plant we like, and it's like, okay, what is that? And can we get it from our local nursery?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. For the people side of things, you said that's been a challenge throughout your business career, right? Are there any tips or techniques that you've used successfully over the years that you advocate for your clients?
I think it's hiring more for culture as much for skills.
Yeah.
We're a self-led team atmosphere, and that's hard for some people to get into and understand. But when you actually enable people to do their jobs well, and they have the right mindset, things seem to work out, and you can educate them or teach them more about different parts of their job. But in our interviewing process, we spend more time on culture than we do on skills when we're hiring now.
Yeah, I think that's very wise. We were just in one of our CEO peer groups today. We were just studying that very issue, and that is the hot button, right? That's what makes the difference. That's what makes the job sticky for the folks. If they're there and they meld well with the culture and feel at home, those are people you can rely on.
They really become part of our family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, You guys have been in the business for a long time. Your dad kind of lured you in, if you will, at some point, made you the offer. Well, I don't know if he made you the offer you couldn't refuse, but certainly made you the compelling offer. As you look forward, and I'm sure you're establishing dreams and goals for your business into the future. What's your vision of the business beyond your stewardship? How do you plan to transition the business, and what are the steps you're taking to get there?
Well, right now we've identified two leaders in our business that we are starting the transition to that next generation. But more importantly, we're allowing them to understand what it's like to be a business owner themselves, as well as serve our clients. So we spend an extraordinary amount of time sometimes talking through the decisions that we're making, talking through the options that are there, so they understand not just, okay, this is the decision and we're going to do this, but all the whys and all the things we rejected and didn't do or didn't think they were as good as options, so that when they get that chance to lead, they have some background in it. I wasn't as fortunate in that my dad didn't share his thought process as well. But we're really working hard for Leslie and I to share our thought process with the next generation of team. And by what we're hiring, give them the opportunity to bring additional team members alongside them in that next generation leadership team, and take the business to the next level, or the level, more importantly, that they're going to be comfortable with and they want. So we've made a number of transitions and pivots over the years from more 1040 individual income tax based accounting practice to a business focused practice. They may have some different ideas, and the marketplace may change. Many of our clients that maybe at one point in time would have been a great fit for 1040 return. Many of those people now are doing their own returns on TurboTax or H&R Block 5 or some other fashion. And decades ago, in talking about tech, QuickBooks didn't exist. And then QuickBooks Online didn't exist. So the marketplace continues to change. And we're hoping we're teaching them how to understand what it is that the clients really are looking for. And that's where our focus on an advisory, goal-setting mentality really comes into play, because a business owner really is a lonely process for many. And being to have somebody that can walk alongside them, understand what they're going through, provide them good information, whether you're doing it through a program like QuickBooks Online, or who knows what, the Elon Musk chip in your head that's going to control the world. We don't know where that's going to go, but the need for competent advisors is not going to go away, I don't think.
I'm with you. I think that is going to be endearing for the rest of humanity. It's always been the case, and I think it will always be the case into the future, right?
I believe so strongly.
Fantastic. Well, Bob, how can folks get in touch with you and Leslie and Enterprise? What's the best way to do so?
Well, the best way is go to our website. There's a contact us on our website, which is www.accountingstl.com. So it's a really easy one to remember. Call us at our number at the office, 636-779-0019, or just reach out to us on your social media platform of your choice. We spend most of our time either on LinkedIn or Facebook. I don't have a TikTok channel yet, or a Snapchat channel, or any of those things, because I got gray hair on my head. But the next generation may have that. But right now, website, LinkedIn, Facebook, or just good old fashioned pick up the phone and call us. We'd be happy to sit down and talk with anybody about whether we're a good fit for them and how we can possibly help them. And if we're not the right fit, we want to get them to the right fit. So we'll help them find what they're looking for.
Well, God bless you and Bob and you and Leslie. You guys do great work. We're strong supporters of you guys in the marketplace. I really appreciate you joining us today to share this information with the business community out there. As you know, we endeavor to serve the small business community ourselves, and we love working with partners such as you. You make our job so much easier, and it's a delight. I wish you guys all the best, and we're going to put up a little slide here that'll have all your contact information on it. And we strongly encourage folks to get in touch with you. So thanks again for all you do, Bob, and we will talk to you and Leslie soon.
Thank you very much, Steve. And we look forward to continuing to work with you guys and helping more people succeed.
You got it. All the best.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the You Don't Know What You Don't Know podcast. We invite you to visit www.youdon'tknowwhatyoudon'tknow.com and sign up to receive updates on upcoming episodes. You can also let us know if you'd like to be a guest or recommend a business owner to be interviewed. Find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can like, follow, share, and join our efforts. Thanks for listening. We hope you join us again.